I'm going to hit record. We're going to do Krista's full. Give me a second. I want my Marchetti deck. I want a certain Marchetti deck. There we go. These are my Marchettis that I love. Some of them. And this one is the Grand Lux Tarot. And for a full, I love this. For the serious fulls, yeah, you bet. So I haven't gone to that in a while, and it is one of my favorites. It is right up there. Okay, let me flip this down, and I'll be recording this and posting it to the tube, so if you want to see it later, then you can see it later. You have that deck and love it. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I trimmed it and took the borders off so I could have multiple and sort them easily. This one's going to kind of be a crunchy sounding, but for Krista. What do you need to know regarding the baby daddy? We're getting duets, duets, duets. What I'm getting is this whole notion of co-parenting, co-parenting, co-parenting coming through. Duets, duets, duets. You're not there to have everything go smoothly and always the way you want it, but it is going to go in a way that is balanced sometimes. Mostly balanced on your end. You're going to be about peace on this. You're going to be about putting the kid first, and this is what's going to ultimately be helpful to you going forward. This is huge for you, but you have to remember that you don't always get to control, and what you think is going to be best isn't always going to be best. You're going to have to make logical and painful choices sometimes, but it's about the balance. We've got the Two of Swords and the choices of balance that are here, and the competing ideas. And sometimes you're going to have to surrender, and it's not so much that your ego is in the way. It's just sometimes you will know a thing that's a better solution, but the other person needs to be given their chance to parent too. Sometimes you got to yield. This is showing that she can see through something that's going on. She can see through the crazy that's happening. Struggling with surrendering the rights. Yeah, the competition is here. Competition is here. The ideal of what you think it should look like and what you want it to look like isn't how it's going to look. It's going to be better than your worst nightmare, but you got to get the pie in the sky thinking out of it. Here's like the nightmare, the anxiety, the stress, because you have a little bit of pie in the sky thinking and not pragmatic. Whenever there's divorce energy going on, and whenever that happens, you got to share the kids out. And unless the court sees something grossly inept or grossly wrong, they're likely to just like, okay, quickly referee this, you get this, part it out, and you end up sharing the kids, but you have to share time. And sometimes you know that like you might be the better or more loving parent, yet the other person has rights too, and this is what feels like it's trying to be balanced out. We've got the happy rose-colored glasses, Six of Cups, nostalgic about the kids, and it's like it can't always be like this. This feels like there's a little bit of a bubble around this, a bubble in the thinking. This is the card of give and take and share and feeling on the outside. It's almost the Six, but not quite. This is the Five of Coins, and it feels like you are on the outside of this ideal of what you wanted. The sooner you let go of the ideal, the rose-colored glasses, the perfect dreaminess, the easier it is to get to the truth of what needs to happen in this now moment. That's the best thing you can think of right now. What needs to happen in this now moment? In this now moment, in this now moment. And sometimes there's situations where maybe you're the better parent, you're the better mom, but somebody else has less physical challenges, so they're the one that gets the primary custody. That happens in some cases. Sometimes that balances out. Sometimes you have to go to court for years and years and years. Some people don't do that. It doesn't feel like that's the case for you, but it feels like you have to kind of come to your own acceptance about what the situation actually is in order to move through it. And yes, some kids are going to have strange and unusual childhoods growing up because the parents split up. Well, welcome to the real world, kids, because everybody has weird parents. Everybody has complicated parents. And you're going to fuck it up along the way. Absolutely you are. Who doesn't? We all do. Nobody knows what we're doing. As parents, we screw up all the time. And we try so hard to get it right and get it perfect. Do the best you can in this now moment. What's coming next? You don't need to think 15 steps ahead. Knight of Swords in reverse. He needs slowed down, then the truth needs held a little tighter. Sometimes this one is reckless, and they think everything's going to go a certain way. No, he's getting slowed down to understand the truth of something and then needing to wait for the ship to come in, needing to wait for the plans to come together to actually work out. Sometimes we get so focused on what we think is best. And it's getting through the moment and being in our highest self that's important. And then down the track, when we look back, we'll see that we actually really did do a good job, rather than the petty fights, petty arguments, the daily grind wearing us down. That doesn't need to be the case. There needs to be some patience with this going through. Next coming up, this one I don't like. Devil in reverse. And this comes up with devil in disguise. This is coming up with this energy, stubborn energy. This one thinks he's got your number, thinks he's got you figured out, thinks he knows how to play you. Let's take a check on this. You're the independent woman. You know exactly your worth, exactly your value. You check on things. You can be objective. And I'm telling you, you can outmaneuver this fucker. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be legally how you want it to land. But what it is he doesn't have to be in your head so much. He doesn't get the free rent space anymore. So what you get to do is learn to outmaneuver, because this one, he comes through as thinking he's more smart than he is. He comes through as thinking he's super clever, or that he's got the answer, or he's got all the control. And there is power in the word HMM. When you say it diffuses something and lets them not argue with you. There is power in things like this. Or, oh, and you're not giving agreement. Or, oh, I'll make a note of that. Yeah, I'll remember that. There are ways that you can let somebody know that you are noticing and paying attention, and they might have to recalculate, rethink. And it feels like, for you, yeah, as I said, recalculate. I get the word recalibrate coming through. You're recalibrating how you deal with this person. He doesn't have all the power. He doesn't hold all the cards. You do know how to outmaneuver him without being manipulated by him any further. Tower fell, something that you would build up and you thought was really, really great. It's feeling diminished. You've already had the effect of this, but it's feeling diminished. You're still in the kick in the rubble stage. And then this star, and I'm going to cover it, but you know what it looks like. It's beautiful, beautiful star energy here. Beautiful, beautiful energy here. Hopes and dreams, you've got to let go of what you hoped for and let go of giving the guy the potential points. When we see the Six of Cups, sometimes that comes through and we see somebody's potential and we count on that potential, and then they let us down because we aren't seeing actually how they're acting and behaving. So you're letting go of an older dream that you had with this person that went, and it's time for you to move a little bit differently. Now, what else is going to be going on? I want to see what's going on. And this feels like staggered steps, honey, just so you know. It came down in pairs. I'm going to show you how it came down in staggered steps. I want to do the 10 for you next and see what's going on, because it feels like that's important to do. So that's what we're doing next. All right, 1 second. We're going to see how these 10 play out. What do you need to know now going forward for the month of May? What do you need to know? Let your heart be a little bit gentler about how you think it's going to play out. Staggered path resonates so much. Yeah, it's not going to be direct. It's not going to be linear, and it is a little bit of an acrobatic leap here and there. Yeah, I'm getting staggered steps. If you think about stones that are staggered across a stream or across a good-sized stream, not quite a raging river, but a good-sized stream, you're going to have to be careful about your steps. Be thoughtful, be mindful, but don't be so analytical that you get paralyzed and stuck in something. Okay, all right, going down again. Wow. Okay, a lot of repeats coming through here. We got this, we got this, we got this as the repeats. Oh, God damn it. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Are you seeing it? Okay, sorry. You there? Can you see what's going on? Blessedly, let me know. Okay, can you see this? Oh, I don't know if we are stuck or not. We're there? We're there? There. Okay. Sorry, I flipped that and it went to my home screen. I don't know why it did that. So I flipped my phone too fast. Okay, we're back. Is Krista here? Okay. Is Blessedly here? I just want to make sure before we go in this. We've got some repeats coming up. We'll see. We'll see if she's there. There we go. All right. Yay. Okay. So we've got this repeating. We've got this repeating. This comes up in the reverse and it feels like it diminished on the nightmare, which is nice. And then the tower is the energy of the hopes and fears around you. So I'm going to flip this down so you can see where it landed. And we'll go. Okay. Right here. And I'll flip it a little more gently this time, perhaps. Okay. All right. So here we go here. We've got this nostalgic thinking. That's what's mostly getting in your way. Is the rose-colored glasses on how you thought it would be. Nobody gets married, has kids, and thinks it's all going to go to hell, but often it does. Lots of marriages don't pan out how the way we plan them. A lot of people get divorced but share kids and share custody, and that's a lesson that we are getting a lot in modern society, and it's tricky. We have to take time to recognize what was spilled, what was lost, and what remains. And this is it, learning to deal with the remains of the day, learning to deal with the remains of the relationship, learning to deal with the remains of the responsibilities, and how it's actually going to go. These are different kinds of lessons. They're more complex than just the little leave it to beaver type of thinking. Way more complex than people had it even 2 decades ago. Way more complex than they had it in the 60s and 70s. We're way more of us having that complex relationship a little bit differently. Used to be you wouldn't hear of anyone that had a divorce, and anybody, and all the divorced kids coming from broken homes and blah, blah, blah. We still got a lot of that chatter going on in our heads, but a lot of our culture and a lot of society has been through this kind of situation or is undergoing it. The happy ever after myth has burst. Women are doing things more independently, and it's good. It's not, oh, the destruction of the family. Da, da, da. It's actually doing it in a deeper way on a different level. So it's doing what really matters to the heart of the women sometimes, doing what's best for the children. Isn't mom just like going slowly insane and completely losing herself so she suddenly is turned into June fucking Cleaver? We are not all designed and wired to be June Cleaver. And this mythology of nonsense has got to go. And this is some of what's going on. This of the rose-colored glasses, this of the grief and sorrow, and learning something different. Now going back down in May, you're learning the lesson here. This is the, if you share, you get more. Now, before I saw the 5 of coins and you were on the outside and I said the 6 is coming close, this is where your conscious thought is. This is sometimes about child support, alimony, how you get by. If you share, you get more. How do you handle things? Don't be in petty arguments over haircuts or coats or clothing or jackets or how much of this is at one spot. If somebody has proven themselves out to be kind of a selfish jerk over time, don't expect them to suddenly get really considerate. They're not going to. They're not going to be suddenly over generous unless they're just trying to score points with the kids and look good. So just be aware and keep track of things. Keep your ducks in a row. High Priestess in the subconscious knows what's going on, knows how to handle it, knows the game is what I'm getting. Knows the game. That's what feels like the betrayal is. You bought into their potential. You bought into their higher self. You can see them doing better, but they don't want to step up just yet. And it kind of breaks your heart a little bit here and there, again and again, for your kids, for the people concerned. There's not a polite way to say sometimes people are born an asshole, die an asshole, born selfish, die selfish. And they don't seem to learn very much along the way. And we get impatient because we can see where they could have risen above. We get impatient because we can see where their higher self or their bigger self or the one that they could hold just for a slight moment and present the good and really charm is there. And you can see, oh, but at the core, this is their curriculum to learn a little differently, and you're not the one in control of it, and they are learning lessons along the way. This other parent that you're having to deal with is learning along the way. Don't get the rose-colored glasses about this person. No. The truth is you already kind of know the hot mess that they are. It's not the end of the world. A lot of us are messy. Life is messy. A lot of us are messy. You're going to go forward in a different way. Page of Coins in the past. This is where you really thought that this was a good dynamic, and I'm getting the Batman Robin, and this Robin feeling is what you get when you're around this person. So step back from that and continue in the Batman mode. You have seen me talk about this enough that you know what this is about. Share your gifts. Go forward. This is what's coming in the future. This is justice. The scales are trying to balance. Scales are trying to balance, okay? This is what's going on. Tower moment here. This is still being felt strongly by you. Very strongly. And then the King of Swords. Plan something in a 3-month term. Don't think any further than that. And really, the immediate moment is more important. Being strategic about how you do it. And legally documenting every damn thing so you have pattern to show should you need to later. Even if you don't have to get lost in the documenting. But even if you document just a little bit here and there, it will help. So you'll be able to recognize, yeah, this is how he's going to operate. You know how to outsmart this person. Yeah, this is me minding my tongue a little bit. You know how to outsmart this person, how to do well for the people involved that are the kids, and how to move forward. Don't let them drain your energy too much. It's just vampiric. This tower doesn't have to be as disruptive as you think. This is more of a fear, and it's already happened. So this is what's going on. Any final words of advice regarding this? This is the third of the Grand Lux. To thine own self be true. Allow the judgment to come down. Trust your discernment. Trust your higher self. Yeah, he's exactly that. Yeah, I don't want to get bananaed on this, but yeah, your higher self knows what's going on. Answer the call of your higher self and try not to let this other person get under your skin too much. It will work out in the end. There are gifts that we have to learn from each of our parents. And sometimes when there's divorce that goes down and things go a little bit sideways, it's really hard for the mom to put up with the idiocy of the dad. Now, it's not always that way. That might be a overly broad generalization. But sometimes the dads have to learn how to grow the hell up, and they don't figure it out till after they've lost the most valuable thing. And that's what happens sometimes. So that's what I got for you. That's what's going on. Patience on your part, not nostalgia. That's what's coming up. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Yeah, be patient. This one, he thinks he's super clever, but he's not. And you can outmaneuver this person. It just tests your patience a lot. So to thine own self be true. All right. Higher calling, higher self, not petty self. And okay, this is just a sidebar. This is maybe more detail than you need to know even. So when I was first getting divorced from my kids' dad, one of my happy little thoughts, you know how the planes have had all these accidents and like the doors fall off and all of that? Well, that was one of my little happy little wish it could be so. And in my wish it could be so, I had this little mind visualization where I visualized a door of a plane coming off and only my ex-husband just being plucked out of the air and bye-bye, off he went, bye-bye. And that brought me so much peace because when I was frustrated, that visualization was like, I know it's not going to happen, but even just to see that happen just made my little petty parts just thrilled. Like, and it was like some days somebody will get what's coming. Karma is a real thing. Doesn't forget the address. So try and breathe through it. All right. Next up is, I think, Kathy. Is that right? And Kathy, I don't see your question. And if you just let me know, Kathy, you're ahead. Okay. Okay. And Kathy, which way did you pay? Do you know? Because I'm not seeing it yet, but I'm trying to check my iPad. And that's okay. I'll do it. I'm sure it will come. But I know I used to have a different address. So if you let me know which one, I'll take a look and see if it came through with anything else. Venmo. Yeah, Venmo is sometimes a little bit behind. It's usually PayPal that's behind, but I'll check that. But not to worry. Yeah, I don't see it yet. I trust it'll be there. So I'm going to have you just double check that you sent it there with the A. And then I'm going to get your read going. Okay? Okay. Got it? Got it. All right. All right. You're ahead for Kathy. We're doing Little Sister Tarot for you. Ooh, yay. This one's so sweet and beautiful. Okay, Kathy, I'm flipping this down so you can see the cards. This is Little Sister Tarot, and I have 2 of these. Little Sister Tarot for Kathy. What's going on for the year ahead? 7 of Cups, choices, spoiled for choices. A little bit of delusion and the Ace of Cups. So what we're getting is the 7 of Cups for you right there. And you can see she's like a little bit shielded, but all these choices around her, this is what's coming up all year long. Choices and pie in the sky thinking, and choices and pie in the sky thinking. A little bit too dreamy and a little bit of procrastination comes with this card. What's crossing it? There really is huge amount of overflow, blessing, and gift coming through for you in a big, big way, Kathy. Big way. Now let's see what else is going on. What else is going on? We're going to start with May because we're closing in on May. So we're going to start with May. 1 second. May, June. June. One more in June. Wow. June is busy. June. July. August. September. October. November. November. A lot of major arcana coming through here. Huge amounts of major arcana. September, October, November, December. Okay, and I don't know if you can see this well enough. I hope so. I think so. December. See if we can get the January. Not yet. There we go. January. Wow, 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 wow. January is going to be great. February. March. April. April. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to show these to you a little bit at a time so you can see. But overall this year, you're learning lessons about choosing and the choices you make, not to procrastinate, and what is the pie in the sky thinking. What is the emotional opportunity and the emotional lessons of growth? This is amounting to huge spiritual growth for you. Huge. The Nine of Wands is here. There's something that you have guarded, defended, and it feels like you're very resilient about. You've stood strong. You've held your boundaries pretty good, but it doesn't mean that the battle is quite finished. It's like, have you ever frosted a cake when it's too hot and it ends up tearing up the cake? Yeah, you need to hold your boundaries. You're at the end stage where you got to let the cake cool a little bit before you spread the frosting on. And this is what's going on. Yeah, it's like peeling back a little bit of layers of something so you understand it a little bit more spiritually is what's happening here. As you stand strong, you'll get more clarity. And I'm getting things like, this is leading me to, what are those? I don't know if they're birch trees or the white trees that are, we just called them the paper trees. We had them in our backyard. You could peel off the paper there, or onion skin or paper. What are you looking through? I'm getting you looking through, paging through something. Paging through, looking for some kind of old, I want to say document, but it feels more like a journal entry. It feels like something that you've done before in the recent past, like within the last 3 years. A journal entry of a certain day gets your attention. Don't know what that is about, but that's what's coming through. In May, you're going to repeat something that you're going to see, and it's going to happen in June that you repeat it. In May, you're aware of it. When it repeats, you'll know it. Who are you running into? Feels like not quite a harsh collision, but a collision course with something, running into somebody or somebody that resembles someone from the past, if not that very person. It's going to take you past for a minute. You're going to know the decision, the stand you made was right. The stand you made was right. Three of Cups, there's going to be a celebration of this in a huge, huge way. Huge excitement, lifting a toast to yourself and how well you've done. Four of Cups, taking time to take care of yourself, even though the decision was very difficult. King of Pentacles coming through. There is more support around you than you realize going on. Now, I'm getting something that was a difficult decision where you had to walk away from something. This feels like 2 to 3 years ago. I don't know exactly what, but it feels like it was difficult at the time. You're getting a post-it note from the universe that's like, good job. Yeah, that's what's going on here in June. July, the Fool. Ready to trust the universe again and take a leap of faith. This is huge, huge, huge. Huge for you. Don't know what it's about, but it feels very huge. You're trusting the universe, leaping forward, doing really, really well. And you have to take the Fool's leap. You really have to trust the universe has you, equally as you did back then. Yes, the universe brings you a gift. This is August, September, June, July, August. August here. This gift wants to come forward. You have the Ace of Coins and the Ace of Cups. In August, it's like you're planting seeds and you're nourishing them. Something in August is going to be exciting, something you've planted, something that's growing, coming in, coming in, coming in. And then look, we're seeing the Six of Cups here. I love this. This one often is the rose-colored glasses, and I give cautionary about this. But it's also when you give a gift and there's a friendship that comes in. A really good friendship energy, happier energy, light-hearted energy. Something from childhood that is remembered, that is sweet. Like trading your favorite rock for the favorite candy bar. It's a good trade. It's an equal trade. Something that's ready to grow beyond just the beginning bloom of something. Coming into its own fruition, so to speak. But it's something that is the sweetness and tenderness of childhood. This happy heart coming through. I want to see a little bit more clarity on September for that. I'm getting daffodils and pansies and all the spring flowers that would be coming on right now. That we would see where I live, we would see those kinds of spring flowers, tulips and daffodils and all kinds of flowers. And I'm getting the image of an overgrown yard. I saw this just the other day. It's the overgrown yard that has the dandelions and then those purple things that have They look like miniature grapes all growing crazy. And when you're a kid, those are so fabulous. And it's like you're understanding the sweet gifts. There's gifts of gratitude coming through also in September. And a 10 of Wands. This is completed. You set the burden down in September. Whatever this is, you recognize the resilience here with the 9 of Wands. The 10 of Wands in September. It's fully in. It's completed. And you're setting that down. So whatever this is, feels like you may have been overly harsh on yourself about the choice that you made, about the judgment that you made. But you're going to have some recognition of how well you actually did do on this. I don't know if that's making sense to you, but that's what's coming through. Yeah. Good job. Well done. Yeah. It's like, if the universe were giving tests and some people buy into that and others not, but it's, you would have passed it and you've done so well and you've been a little too hard on yourself, and it's time to set some of that burden down and realize how well you did. You did the best you could at the time. It's time to really acknowledge how well you actually did do. All right, October. October comes in with the Wheel of Fortune. And this is where it's turned forward. Often I compare this to dialing in that third number on the safe. And it feels like you're past that point. It feels like you're ready to open things up. You have to be willing to open it. All the numbers are dialed in by October. You have to be ready to allow change to happen. Allow yourself to have that change going forward. This is huge for you. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's coming through. It's the season change. Yeah, everything has its season, and this change comes through. Change comes through. You're ready to open up to that in October. November. November, we've got the Sun card and the Knight of Cups. Wow. Wow. Okay. Sun card. Let's talk about this for a minute. Happiest card in the deck. Most abundant, most enlightened, most blessed. Everything's growing, 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 growing. Then this is coming through. Knight of Cups. Now, Knight of Cups can be seen as the Romeo card, player card, but also this one is the one that quests for the Grail. It's not the time for battles and war. It's the time for going for the Grail. When you have the Grail, the Ace of Cups right in the center, it's the Grail. It's what's spiritually fulfilling, and you are questing for that in a new way, and armored up and ready, not to be fooled or trifled with again, doing really, really well. Really well. Yeah, it is like you are on a new quest. You understand. You're going to ride the white horse for yourself and not for everyone else. You're going to go after what it is that's priority to you. You're going to take care of yourself in a better way than you have before. You have leveled up, and it's happened. It's like you don't recognize it yet. It's already happened. You've already taken your stand, stood strong. There's something reminiscent, and as we go all the way around here into here, this Wheel of Fortune in October, that's when it like clicks that you're ready to open up and allow the change to come through. Let go of an old block is what I'm getting in November. This is what's happening. You're ready to move forward, to move on, to let go, to stop blaming yourself about something in the past that wasn't perfect. This is what's going on. Then here, December. 7 of Pentacles. The harvest is coming in. Your seasons are screwy in this deck. As like often in December, we might see more of the indicating cards of winter. And in this one, your seasons are a little off. That's okay. You're on your own timeline, on your own curriculum. You're doing fine. And harvest time for you is December. Things are coming in, coming in, coming in. And seriously, seriously coming in. Then in January, you've got the 9 of Cups. Your wish fulfilled. It's like really the thing that you're taking on, that you're starting, that's new in October, that's really supposed to be happening, is starting to get some momentum, starting to expand, starting to grow in January. What else is going on in January? We got that 9 of Cups, and it's so good. I mean, really, really good. There's a huge amount of contentment. It's like layering and layering. Okay, yes. We're back to the stupid cake. When I get these metaphors or these visuals, I tell you because hopefully it helps you remember this in your mind. And it's what comes through, and I'll never block it. If I get the nudge or get the message, then I'm going to let you know. Even if it sounds idiotic, I'm going to let you know. We're back to the cakes. And instead of just the frosting on the cake on the top layer, it's showing me like, I'm sure you've seen this, the round cake with like the frosting in the middle, another round cake, frosting in the middle, another round cake, and that's the top. And it feels like that's what we're doing. It feels like the layer on layer on layer of frosting. You've had to let the cake cool and frost, cool, frost, cool, frost, and build in a way that actually makes sense. If you try to do it all at once, it's just going to be a hot mess. It's going to be crumbled cake and frosting and a globby old mess. Allow these layers to be there, and the heat, the over emotionality of a thing to cool down. Allow your emotions to calm, and then you frost it. Then you get ease. in putting that frosting across there. Ease in doing what it is that you need to do. And then the next layer comes in, and that's very much how this feels like. Slow and steady for sure. And then allow the sweetness to be there. When you're frosting the cake, you're allowing the sweets to come through on that. Cake without frosting, some people hate frosting. Some people, it's all about the frosting. But cake without frosting isn't as good. It's meant to be paired together. It's why we often see it that way. The extra sweet is supposed to be there too. It's not just supposed to be work and drudgery. Okay, that's what we got for January, February coming up. February. Okay, February is the Hermit coming through. Now, this is an interesting Hermit. You know, we see people referencing the word bed rotting, and I hate that because I get into what I call the toaster. I'll get into the blankets and get warm, and like I just need to get cozy sometimes. The Hermit sometimes needs time to just be cozy, to just get cozy, to take time for themselves and all alone, and having the joy of being on their own. You're retiring soon and lots of choices. Yeah. And it needs to be choices that bring your soul and your spirit joy, not maybe what you thought that you would want to do, you know, in years gone by. What actually brings you joy? You're going to need to figure out the scale of things, and the way things look is a little different than what you planned. The Hermit has to go within to figure this out in February. It's going to look a little different. You know, some people think, oh, well, I'll retire and I'll see the world. Well, not everybody is wired to be the world traveler. Some people want to retire and just be in their garden and be in their favorite place all the time. Whatever it is for you, it's taking care of what this is that is the higher soul need. It's all here in the spiritual here, and it's all here too. Okay, what else do we got? February going into March. Oh, wow, the Five of Pentacles. Okay, now this is when you're feeling a little poor, a little match girl, a little bit on the outside, a little bit separated, outside looking in, when two people are usually walking away. Again, your seasons are off. This feels like more of that winter energy, kind of the on your own hunkering down in the Hermit mode in February. And then in March, the winter energy is there. It feels like you're going to have to make a priority shift and change February, March. I want to look one more card on this. Yeah, whatever it is, you need to let go and let it end. You're moving on to something different. Something that has been actually a little bit of a painful part of the past, or painful to let go of. It's time to move on from. This is February, March. What else? Eight of Cups. This is the meaning of the Hermit. Usually we see somebody walking away from something. You're leaving something that isn't actually satisfying. So the more clear you get about priorities along the way this year going forward, the better. And the more straight you can get with your emotions and with your intellect, not just your intuition, not just your emotions, not just your brain. It all has to come together. All has to come together in order to move forward. And you're going to go towards something that's more satisfying. Maybe what you thought you wanted to do when you retire, maybe you thought you wanted to do a certain thing. Maybe your dream has actually shifted a little bit. Or maybe the way your measuring stick has changed. Maybe the way you have measured isn't exactly accurate to what is there and how well you've done. You're retiring soon and lots of choices, absolutely. And they need to make sense for you. And they need to feel right for you. And they need to feel right for the version of you that is now, not the version of you that was years gone by. Now, the Eight of Coins is coming up, and that's April next year. And this is work, work, work on something until it becomes second nature. Mastery and apprenticeship is this card. I sometimes compare it to the med student that has the book knowledge, but then gets the opportunity to actually work with people, to actually be involved in doing something that comes second nature to you. This is important to you in April. What else? Looking out for yourself is huge, important. Seven of Cups. April. You're going to make a new choice. So I would err on the side of caution in the immediate future. Know that you're going to make a new choice, that it's going to look a little bit different as the year progresses. So just be aware of that. That's what's going on with this. But when we see it in duplicate, you're spoiled for choices. You've got tons and tons of choices. You need to do the one that's spiritually fulfilling, that brings you fulfillment instead of like feeling like you want to walk away and leave it behind. This is what's going on. What is the thing that is resonating for your soul, that is fuel and food for your soul and your spirit, needs to nourish you. It's not what everybody else says it needs to be. It's what really actually nourishes you. That's what I've got, and that's complete. That is gorgeous, honey. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, it's like the seasons are a little bit off and out of order for you, but you're coming to a really big, significant change. So it makes sense that they would be they feel a little bit out of whack. That's what I got. Yeah, it's going to be good, and it's going to be beautiful, but it's going to be a little bit different. I know there's a lot of us that think, okay, wouldn't it be so great to travel the country in an RV and hit all 48 states? There's a lot of people that say that. And by the time that they get to where they can do that, they're like, there's no way I'm giving up the comfort cozy of my house to be on the road with, 1/5 of my stuff and have to use a skinny little porta potty instead of my full-size household restroom. This kind of thing. The dream has shifted. That's what I got. All right, let me get a little water and we'll see what's coming up. Okay. If you've paid for a paid reading or you want to get on the list, this is what we got going today. And hopefully you can see that, but we've got Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. That's how you can pay for a paid reading. The last one you just saw was the year ahead reading, and that was on the Little Sister Tarot deck. If you pay for a reading, let Kim know. She's the one that helps keep things going, and if the list is clear, then I'll go into a collective, but you want to get a pinch? Okay. Something whimsical in the pinch. Okay. Let's see what we got. Now, the pinch is off menu. If you know, you know. But it's $10 for a pinch of charms, and we'll see what's going on. And if cards come through with any of my specialty reads down here or with any of the pinches, then I sometimes go to them. But we'll see what's going on. So that's what I got going on here. So, all right. Let's see what we got. Hopefully I can see this clearly. Okay. So we're going to do Krista's pinch next. So just 1 second. Okay. And yes, I did order some more charms. Let's see what's going on. Okay. I'm getting something about the bicycle ride. And I'm going to reference this time that my sister and I went bicycle riding on the Columbia River Gorge. And I had to ride my stepdad's bike. And oh my gosh, the seat was not cushy enough for my tushy. My butt hurt so much I couldn't sit down. The bicycle ride shouldn't be that you go out to do something fun and you end up paying the price. It's like if you go ice skating and end up twisting your ankle because you really aren't prepared for ice skating. Be careful in your playfulness. It's not that you have to be a worrywart, but be careful in your playfulness that you don't have clumsiness incurred. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. Okay. Let's flip it down so we can see what's going on. And one rolled off the desk, and I think it was that big clock one, and we're going to let it be off the desk. This is something that's outside of time that I swear I thought I saw that roll by. Now, this is interesting. We're getting the double yellow hearts, which we've seen before for you. Hopefully you can see that. Pretty good right there. This is the happy. It needs to be happy. And this is playing with your kid coming in here. We've got happy and play in a kid-like manner. So whether this means blowing bubbles, breaking out crayons, doing something that's just absolutely silly, watching a goofy cartoon like the Rocky and Bullwinkle show and Boris and Natasha and the Moose and Squirrel, all of that kind of goofiness is coming in. I don't even know why. Why is that there? Because it's so silly. The melodrama of it, of Snidely Whiplash and the Mountie. I don't remember. Dudley Do-Right, the Mountie. It doesn't have to be perfect, but all of this has to be light. Wow, that just put you to tears. It makes sense to you. Good. Yeah, this is what's coming in. It needs to be whimsical like the Cartoon Hour. As a kid, I was one of those that was like watching the TV really close like this, watching. And when I was lost in TV land with the cartoons, my mom could be right behind me. Angie, hey! And what? So yeah, this is the time for that. There is a lot of childhood play that needs to come in a more gentle way, not so hard on yourself, and connecting in a different way. It doesn't have to be super, super active. It has to be almost like, yes. What do they call that? There's a name for it when the young kids do it. Parallel play. Parallel play is a good thing. Parallel play is sometimes really, really effective. And when my son was a teenager, we would watch the show Psych on TV. So it was kind of parallel, but it would open up room for discussion, open up lanes for discussion. When you're watching goofy TV with your kid and it's one of the kids' shows that they like, it can make room for discussion. There's a little bit of this going on, and it's something you can both enjoy. There's work to be done, and the play is more important. If you play more, the work comes easy. We've got this really, really big bumblebee that's almost too fat to fly. And bumblebees are miracle workers because they aren't supposed to fly because they are so damn fat. They aren't meant to fly, but they do anyway. And what comes of that? That's amazing. This is what's coming. There needs to be some of the work cut, more of the joy in, a little bit more happy tunes. Like you need some of like summer songs, just like there was the reference to the old school TV that was in this terms. The nostalgia is right, and that's the actual. Yeah, it was sweet, happy fun for you when you were a kid. There's some of that that's coming through that gets you in the playful headspace instead of the serious worry and over concerned. You need to let go of the worker bee overworking, 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 and let some of the play enter in. Let the music enter in again. This is huge for you. Key is coming in. Legend of the Starfish coming in. Pink starfish joy. And this is the starfish that the old man throws back in the sea. But also starfish are pretty magical because they just are brilliant little creatures that move so slowly that it's amazing that they even exist at all when you come to think about it. And they just kind of move slowly. They walk a little bit differently. They do a little bit differently. They suction to things a little bit differently. They're all very uniquely themselves, but super, super cool and essential. There is something about doing a sideways walk, doing it in a spicy kind of way, like the NeuroSpicy does it different, but it's so important. This is huge. The music has to come in. The lesson, this is coming in. The music and the lesson, it's has to be a little bit different. It's not time for the classical music lesson. It's time for a little bit of rag music, a little bit of ragtime music where something is a little bit sloppy and messy and fun and playful. If it's too uptight, too classic, too ordered, it's not going to be well received. It has to be done in a different way. NeuroSpicy crew for life. Yeah. It feels like there needs to be a way to approach this from a NeuroSpicy way that's going to serve a lot better if it's fun and it's engaging, it's playful, it's not work, it's not chore, it's not task, it's not boring, it's not snooze. No, none of that. The play is actually the bigger teacher. When you get into the lane of play, whether you're coloring together, playing a game together, or whatever, that's when they are most open to receive the messages that otherwise would be considered a lecture. If you told them, you need to do this, and you need to do this, you can practice and play. And when it's done in a playful way, it is learned and picked up and received way, way easier. Don't know what that's about. That's what's come through. Okay, here we have the tree. And this is usually to do with ancestors. This is usually to do with rootedness. It's coming through with health. And it's coming through as literally getting outside in nature, enjoying that a little bit more. You've got the sun right over it right here. This is like get outside. You need to play outside. There needs to be some outside time. It's not just all about indoors. There needs to be outside, and really, really an enjoyment of that is huge. Oh, it's asking me to confirm something here. Hang on one second. Which of these objects are orange and round? Okay. I'm trying to tap what is a basketball. Hopefully that's done. Okay, done. Sorry about that. I hate when the screen does that, and they're doing that instead of the puzzles these days for the lives. But that's what's going on. So getting outside and getting in the sun is huge. So it could be you're just going like you're suddenly on a drive and you're going and blowing bubbles. Whether this is with somebody that's, kid-oriented, or whether you need to do this for yourself to reconnect with the kid part of you, this is what's coming in. This sense of play, this enjoyment. It's like sometimes we forget how gorgeous it is outside, and we are just so in our rut of just doing what we need to do, and our to-do lists and our serious worries of the adult, and we forget how to enjoy just the little things. This is asking you to remember this. The key for the starfish was getting back into the water and knowing where the meaning was. The key for the old man that threw the starfish back was taking the time to give back where he could. Do what you can, when you can, and do it in a gentle and easy way, and it'll be very, very good for you. Again, the throwbacks, the old vintage throwbacks of things that are good, color crayons and color books and Boris and Natasha and Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's just wacky how strong that's coming in. But that is what's coming in. It's like if you could take a day from, I don't know, the 1970s or early 80s and insert it into your life now in 2025. If you could take that kind of a day and put it in here, Just a little bit, just a sliver of that would be really, really helpful. I know we can't time travel, but we can do things a little bit differently. Those were the cartoons of your childhood? Yeah. And different layers of the same lesson. Yeah. Yeah. It's every Saturday a.m. Yeah. That's what's coming through. So this playfulness needs to be re-engaged with, even if you just do it in a short sliver of a way. It will help. That's what I got. That's complete. And that's a charm read, guys. That's how I do it. I am getting more charms, but this is like all the charms that are in here. Some of mine, some that Kim sent me. If I can get this box lid off, that would be helpful. Oh no, guys. I really, whoa. But that's that. That was gorgeous. Thank you. You're so welcome. Yeah, that was a really, really fun one. Super fun. So that's what's going on. Let me get these put away. And then maybe we'll do a collective. So we can do a collective and see what's going on with that. We're going to go to the Arcanum for the collective. I'm not sure what that's about, but that's where we're going. The Arcanum is calling for the collective, so that's what we'll do. We'll see what's going on with this. What does the collective need to know? Oh, we're so serious right now. Oh, we are so heavy. It feels like we are weighed down right now, and we forget how, yeah, many of us need to lighten up, but it feels like, yeah, we're wearing a wet blanket almost as a cape or as a coat, soaked through, heavy. What do we need to know? Yeah, the heaviness around us, we need to try and detach from. Yes, you can still pay for a reading. Sure, absolutely. I'll hold this up and then we'll go into the collective and give you time for things to go through. Let Kim know which one you use, which reading you get, and we'll go into that. I want to stay in this energy real quick. We don't have to stay there forever, but we're there. So let Kim know, but absolutely believe you can do it. We're prepared. We don't know we're prepared. No wonder we feel heavy. We have here the Knight of Pentacles. He is the slowest. He's riding the Clydesdale. He has 3 canteens to go across the desert. We're prepared, and some of us need to prepare, and I've heard a lot of people say stock up on the toilet paper and the water and the canned goods, like in COVID, because things might be a little bit weird and sketchy as far as normal grocery shopping, normal shopping, that kind of thing. But some of us are feeling that energy a little too heavily. Sometimes you have 3 canteens to cross the desert and you need all 3. Other times you have 3 canteens to cross the desert and you really didn't need all of them. You do your best with the discernment that you have, but realize that you're strong enough. The guy that rides the Clydesdale, this guy, it's the slow ride, but it gets the job done. It feels heavy. It feels bulky. It feels cumbersome. We don't know that this guy, even though he's prepared, we don't know that he's not whistling along parts of the journey, as he should be. As he should be. We need to be a little lighter of step. I'm going to flip this down so you can see what just landed here. Justice. There's a delay on justice, and we've got to trust that karma knows what she's doing. She doesn't forget the address, right? We have to trust this. We want to go fast charging, fast charging, fast charging. This one almost gets out of control. There needs to be a balance. If these two had to take a road trip together, this one would be wanting to go like fire, rapid, 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 and this one would be super, super turtle. If you put the tortoise and a hare together, and I have seen experiences where there's friends that this is their natures, there has to be compromise in order to move forward. There has to be balance in order to move forward. Our excitement for change, our desire for change, and our preparedness for shit to go sideways needs to be a little more balanced. We need to focus on things. This is our task at hand, focusing on the work, focusing on what comes second nature, doing what we can do, and doing it in a way that makes sense. It stacks up slowly, right? It accumulates slowly. And then taking a fool's leap. This is coming through in a really beautiful way. A really beautiful way. Take a leap of faith. This guy can't see that the fool is over here. He doesn't know this. But trust the universe. Take a leap of faith. These ones are big karmic cards. There's something that's wanting to change. And some of us are feeling the edge of that change a little bit earlier than others. Prepare for shit to go sideways, but also prepare yourself to know that you can figure it out. You don't have to run 100 miles an hour. It's not necessary. Now, what else is coming through? Okay. Don't let the hoarding of something become a burden. Don't let the preparing become a burden. You don't need 70 cans of Nally chili. You might need 5 or 10 or whatever. You don't need to hoard. You need to be frugal. You need to conserve. You need to take care of what is your own needs and hold on to things in a balanced way, not in a way that it becomes a burden. When you share, you get more. Do what you can when you can. I say that a lot. Share with those that you can. The universe actually has our backs on this, and we feel like we're freaked out. No, no, oh, no, oh, no. Don't let panic drive you. There is this tug of war going on. And again, if you get these two writers, there is a tug of war going on between these two. Well, if this one is in 5th gear and this one is in 1st gear, the balance point would probably be 3rd gear. So if somebody is trying to go only 10 miles an hour and somebody's going, 80 miles an hour, the balance point may be 50 miles an hour. You're going to get there. It's going to be there, but both of these has to drop the rope in order to actually make progress. The competition doesn't serve. And this is a bigger lesson collectively. It's not just for us individually, it's for the collective. So you're going to observe it and you're going to see it. Just kind of step back, take a breath, figure out what you need to figure out for the day that you're in. That's complete. Okay, that's what I've got. Wild. That one was a little different, but that's what I'm getting. Okay. Lily, I see that you paid for a reading. Give me a second to get some water, and we'll get into it for a blind for you. And I go to the oracle cards for the blind. Now, these are the oracles in this, and also in this. And so I'll go to the ones that call me. But let me get a drink first. Very interesting. Scooch this out of the way. Scooch this out of the way. This is the box that wants to come through. Very interesting. And the Pastel Halloween. These are funny cards. They're very pastel Halloween kind of Normand Oracle type of flavor of deck. But they're very, very sweet. And they're kicking out when it's not even Halloween time. That's wild to me. Is there anything else in here? Yeah, we'll go for these. Anything else in here? What's this? Okay. Wow. Every angle, every turn. All right. You've got 4 different oracle decks coming through for the blind. We've got Rebecca Campbell. This is like the wild creatures or something. It makes me think of where the wild things are. The Pastel Halloween. And I forget what this is. It's butterfly something. Really, really gorgeous. So I'll do them in the order that I pulled from. It doesn't mean each one is always going to have... This one feels like it wants at least 3 of them. We're just going to go for it. So, all right. So for Lily for the blind, what does she need to know? Okay. I thought we were going 3. We're going more on this. Okay. Give me just a second. I'm going to flip this down so you can see. And I need to flip it so they're towards me, and then I'll flip them towards you again. Wow. Grandma's knocking on the door. Grandma's knocking on the door. Something's coming in, and it's besides just where you're at and what's going on. Grandma's knocking on the door. This one's coming through in very quite the way of something that is fast approaching. It's an old thing that you know, and it feels like something. You're going to hear sounds. You're going to hear clunky sounds, things that are knocking on the door. You're going to hear the weird things that go bump in the night, as we used to call them. And don't be scared by this. Grandma's knocking on the door. This is old myth and lore, and so interesting. Like, this is the Halloween deck, but we're getting every kind of reference you could possibly get. And this deck has so much more than what would be the things that go bump in the night and scare you. Whatever it is that's knocking on the door, it's like it's time for you to be a little bit more receptive and a little bit more open. It's not feeling like your house is haunted. It feels like a gift wants to come through, wants to come through, wants to come through. You're not allowing it to come through. It is time to be receptive to the gift and allow it to come through. This is really allowing your light to shine a little bit more for the world. This is coming through as you. This is coming through as Grandma. This is coming through as what you have as a hidden mystery that you need to know. Coming through as things that you'll see things to watch for. Yeah, for some reason, this is the one that called me forward. These are things that are markers for you. Knocking on the doors. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I recently acquired the Beetlejuice deck. I'll show you. Yeah, the Beetlejuice deck. And what's coming through is when Winona is going down the stairs and the Banana Boat song is coming through. This is what's coming through. It's being receptive to the weird and the strange in a good way and allowing your gift to do what it does. It's being more open and sharing this gift in a different way. Conjure the magic is coming through here. Yeah, and that Deo, me say Deo. Yeah, that's coming through. I don't know why. Yeah, be very, very aware. Keen-eared. Sharp ears, keen ears. Keen ears is what's coming through. Yeah, the gift is going to come through. You're going to have clairaudience. You're going to think you hear something. You're going to think you hear maybe a conversation or a bits of conversations or lyrics that come through just like we just experienced. You're conjuring magic. Let it come through. Take note of it. Okay, we're getting Harriet the Spy in the flip pad, notepad. You know when you see Dragnet and they've got the little tiny notepad? Go grab yourself one of those. We're getting Harriet the Spy. Write down the evidence. So when the Deo comes through, when the song comes through, the lyrics come through, write it down. It's your evidence pad. You're starting to create your evidence file. You need the evidence file so you can learn to trust your own intuition and instinct a little bit more. Bury your dead. Very interesting. What does she want you to bury? The doubt needs to go. And then this is saying, embrace the effortlessness. Write it down so it's in the pad so the Deo lyrics come through. Write it down. Let it be in there and then move on with your day. This is you learning how to watch your own intuition and to trust yourself a little bit more. And then embrace the effortlessness. It needs to be easy for you. So I'm flipping these so you can see them here. And then I'm going to hold these so you can see them here. And then we'll go into the next. This is the more whimsical, comical, light-hearted look at what we're going to go into. What we're stepping into the next deck is a Rebecca Campbell deck. And it is more serious, more spiritual, not so Halloween themed or monster themed, more in the zone. And this is I think the Oracle of the Roses or something like that. But the grandmother energy is coming in strong. When the grandmother energy comes in, whether she's literally your grandmother or several generations back or whatever, it's a different dynamic between the grandmother and the mother. You know, when you're the mom, you have to be the bad guy and say, you're grounded or go to bed early. But the grandmothers don't have to do that. They're generally over stereotyped as very, very sweet, able to know things, and they have the wisdom and the knowing. And my grandma, she sat down one time and played jacks with me on the floor. And my mom, she was like, I wish I would have played with you kids more. Well, my mom had 6 kids and busy. But my grandma was at a different stage in life, so it was a little bit different. The grandmother energy is that way with the spiritual lessons too, not just the playful life lessons, but the spiritual lessons also coming through quite strongly and wants to pass a gift. The rose thread, the inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. This is what you don't understand. There is mystic in you that is dying to be released and embraced and move about a little more freely in the world. So we're going to put that one so you can see it's over here. Now we're going to see what's bookending here. Sometimes people think they need to be religious or do certain things in a spiritual way. The mystic very much follows their own path. Like Indians might reference it as shamans. Some people would also reference that as mystic. The crowning. Initiation, threshold, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. Very, very beautiful. The crowning. When babies are born and we see that they're crowning, they are presenting. They are ready to come forward. There's no stopping it then. And this is where you're at. This is the stage you're at. What else is coming through? Right here, under here. Ancient bonds. Okay, I'll show her. Fine. Okay, yes. Give me just a second. The Temple of the Rose is coming through. Ancient power, expression, activation, and scarlet codes. Again, these are the red codes of sacrifice, the women's sacrifice, 1212 coming through on the clock. And this is very interesting. It's what you're applying to do when you apply yourself to do something. It's getting doubled, and you're learning by repetition, and it's layering on. Now, what I'm getting here, ancient bonds, I'm going to show you. This. You can kind of see here, all of these bones. Yeah, okay, I'll throw a few. Just a few. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to show you. You got a little bit of the mini bones. My grandma taught me how to read the bones, but she didn't do it when she was here on Earth. This is something I learned recently. And she had been dead a long, long time before I knew what I knew. And this is how she taught me. And it comes through in such a way that it's a gift. This is the ancient bond. When your grandmothers want to teach you a lesson, when they want to share with you a gift, they will share it with you. And when you're receptive to the weird and the whatever it is of the mystic, you're going to allow it to flow through you. Now flipping down to here so you can see. This is the mystery, mystery, mystery of the way of seeing and speaking your truth. I'm feeling a little bit of lone and a little bit of void. You have to empty out preconceived notions and thoughts in order to let this to flow through. It's right here on this black bone. This is the blackened bones. Let go of the shadows. Let go of doubt. Let go of residue. That is residue of perception, residue of thinking it needs to be a certain ordered, structured way. No, the grandmothers teach in a different way, a very different way, a light-hearted way. Look for things in these shades, in the lavenders and pink coming through. Yeah, this is divine feminine coming through in a playful and young child kind of energetic way. And something stripped down to its bare. There's fire, there's flame, but there's also this magical pink wanting to come through. Let it be whimsy. If whimsy will teach you, don't dismiss the whimsical lessons, but don't misunderstand them to be small. They are not. The potential of what is in the sunflower, how much more seeds are in the center of the sunflower. The lesson it is that it goes and follows the sun and follows the light. Huge for us to know. This is what we need to remember. Now going forward into this deck now. Allow the ancient bonds to be there. Uncover the truth. Rebirth from stasis. What's hidden emerges. Unravel stories. The past is the key. Unravel the grandmother stories. This isn't about old thinking. It's about old gifting. And then release is coming through here. Release the burdens of the past and let love fly free. Some of us are doing generational healing that our grandmothers and our ancestors are encouraging us to do to help heal the family line. Generational healing, the shield. Find protection in love and be each other's shield. This is something huge coming in. 1 second. Armor on. What I'm getting is armor on. Yeah. We're getting the nature of playfulness of you, the nature of things that you learned as a child needs to be remembered, but you are ready for this fight, ready for this battle, ready to go through, ready to honor the gift and allow it to come through in a different way. You're ready to be your authentic self and doing what it is that holds your place, holds the space in the universe, takes the stand in the universe, takes the stand in the fight when the grandmothers weren't strong enough to do it. Something about the generational healing really wants to come through, and it's like what would have been generations gone by too difficult for a woman to take a stand on, for a person to take a stand on, for a woman to take a stand on, now is doable by you in this day and time because you have more power. Even though there are those that would thwart, wow, what a word, those that would thwart your progress, where it would have been thwarted by other forces, the forces that be, the powers that be in ancient times. I reach back. Yeah, this is at least 4 generations back. It's even further back than I can reach. What would have been thwarted is now yours to solve and resolve by standing true, staying true, listening, following the intuition, letting go of the shadow. One more. Healing heart. Healing of the heart begins with forgiveness. This is what's coming through. It is up to you. You hold it there. You're ready to do it. Ready to do it. This is what's coming through. Be very, very aware. You're to create a little bit of peace and release. Allow forgiveness to move through. Allow the healing to begin in a different kind of way by standing strong for yourself. Anything else? No. The thread is there. The connection is there and the crowning is there. You're doing something that they couldn't have done, that some generations would have had curse, inheritance, legacy that was not so fun. that you are having to deal with, but you're able to heal it and work with it. The gift from my grandmother, as far as reading the bones, I'm sure my other sisters who are very much conservative are like, that's a little bit nutty, and doesn't matter. I know the truth of it. I do what I do, and I carry that truth through. And it feels like for you, this is time for you to understand the truth of a thing and do it in the way that your ancestors are trying to teach you and guide you through. Yes, that's complete. That's what I've got. Holy cow, that was a big one. Big, big, big. And the lesson or the wounding that you are healing, it's not a frivolous kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. You know the depth of that. Allow yourself to do the healing. Allow yourself to release what you need to release for your own sanity, for your own peace, for your own energy to move forward in a better way. You're welcome, honey. You are welcome. That was absolutely beautiful. The energy, I wish I could give you guys a piece of this. The energy is flowing, it's moving, and it's high time. Yeah. In irrigation ditches, there's this, we used to adjust the gate, and it would go like this, and there was a steering wheel that you could steer, would raise and lower the gate so the water flow could come through on these ditches. And it feels like somebody has turned the wheel and is allowing the flow through. That's what I got. Holy smokes. Gorgeous. Yeah. 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 All right. Let me get some water, and we'll see if we're going to leave it there for today, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Or if there's anyone on the list, let me know. But that's what we're doing. It's a challenging field that we're in energetically. So be aware and give yourself a little extra grace, because today specifically is a very challenging energetic field to be in. You are so, so welcome, honey. You are so, so welcome. No problem at all. No problem. Okay. Kim, the list is clear as far as you know. Okay. Well, I think we might call it a day. I might go down and get some lunch or brunch or whatever it is by now. Lunch, I guess, is what it is now. And I will be back on Wednesday at 11. So that's when I'll be back again. We'll see what's happening then. And until then, take really good care of yourselves. Thank you for being here with me. I love, love, love doing this. Love it. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being here. And I hope you guys have a happy day, a fun day if you can. Happy is such a good thing. So go out and enjoy it how you can. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.